Been a crazy busy week trying to get stuff done. We're out here hunting today. First time I've hunted this week to get out here, and we're on our ready to do our second loop. We've already been out here for 4 miles. We did a 4-mile loop. We're not here, but the funny part is we parked. We went in and did a 4-mile loop, and we got into 8 hogs. It's all I'm going to be in my Patreon channel, but we got into 8 hogs, 20 yards before I got busted. But we got into those hogs literally like 200 yards from where the truck was. So I knew I was going to come back out after I did a loop and then decide if I was staying or where I was going next, grab a sandwich and figure it out while I'm going back there. But I don't want to do this video there. So we relocated to make this video where I'm not going to hurt nothing. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the battle between the mental side, your mind, and your shooting. This hits everybody a little bit different. You see it a lot, especially with the snap shooters, okay? The guys that are quick shooters, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're pure instinctive. I am an instinctive shooter. I love that thing, but we see them when they shoot. When they're practicing, they'll take that arrow, and when they're out there practicing, they can draw that thing. Okay, and they can, well, actually, we'll leave it off, but they can pull it, and they can go, 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 and get back here, and shoot it, and it does perfect. Works like a champ for them every time. Then when they're shooting at a live animal, they do this. Or for, if there's other buddies with them at a 3D tournament, something where there's pressure on them, they do this. Boom, and they let go right here. This is where they release the string at, okay? They come in, boom, and it's gone right here. Not here. It's gone right here. Boom, that's where it goes, because usually it's the back of the thumb. As soon as that part touches, boom, here, and it hits on the side of their face, that's where like, boom, gone, let go. Because something touched the side of their face. It's that mental, instead of coming in and going, boom, they come in and they go, boom, and it's gone. Okay, that one hits them a lot. Okay, that's a big factor to that. The other one, the one that I suffer from a lot is when I pick a spot, I lock on that spot, but that spot in my mind and my arm is already drawn on that spot. For example, if I'm coming in and say I got a deer walking and he comes in and I see it, I lock that spot here, but he's still walking. Watch what'll happen with the difference between my bow and my eyes. Okay, here it is. Okay, spot, got it? See how I'm doing that? And I'm following him still. So I draw here and I'm following him, but I'm looking more ahead. My hand is not keeping up with my eyes to lead that shot because I never look where my arrow is. I do not gap shoot. I do not follow my arrow. I follow the spot I want. And sometimes you don't get that arm over there to catch up with it. I have that issue quite a bit, okay? That's one that plagues me a lot. I have to, like if you're in my Patreon video, you will see if I'm shooting at the gnats are already coming. But if you see on my shooting stuff on my Patreon, if their animals are moving, you'll notice that I do this a lot. It's not smooth like this. Okay, it's not like this. It's more like this. Like that, because I have to realign myself. Like cannot take my eyes off of that spot, but then I realize that my bow arm is not following with me. Then I have to realign quickly and shoot. So we have this mental barrier between our minds and our bow and what's going to happen here. And it can be an adventure. Okay, it can definitely be something that's a pain in the butt to deal with. Everybody suffers from it, whether it's a form of target panic, a form of buck fever, a form of whatever it is. We have to find ways to get around this, okay? If you're new to traditional bow hunting, you may not be experiencing this yet, okay? It usually takes a year or two for this to set in because you got to get comfortable, you got to get acclimated, and then the things like this start to happen, and you have to find a way around them. There are a lot of methods. I've shown in other videos how I beat target panic. I suffered from it too because I was an instinctive shooter. I was doing, Fred Asbell style, swing, draw, come up, boom, and fire. Okay, that's what it was. Come up, fire. As soon as I hit anchor. Then it turned into this. Boom, fire in here. Then it turned into this. Boom, fire in here. Because that's when I was on target. That's where, once I hit target and I was there, boom, it was time to go. Didn't matter where I was. It was just time to go. How did I beat it? I beat it by going like this. Full draw on the ground, come up, then shoot. That's how I beat it. But you have to find a way. But you are going to face all kinds of challenges. Then there's also the challenge between your bow arm and your release arm. Okay, that's another big one. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Knew I was going to sneeze real hardcore. Anyway, now the other one is your bow arm to your release hand. Okay, we all have seen, you have people that will pluck. Come back here, and when you release, boom, they throw it like that. That's a pluck, and look at what it does to the arrow even here, okay? See this? Watch. Boom. See what that arrow does when you pluck? That's what happens, and it's bad. Okay, and people will do that. We also have people that will not. If you pull straight back, foomp, and release, look at what happens. It's a beautiful thing. Even if you creep forward and release, foomp, it's a beautiful thing. Why? It's directional. So if you're coming back and pulling through it, and you fire, fantastic. But on the same note, if you come in and you creep a little, and you fire, fantastic. It's still going straight. Pluck, bad. Okay, that's a bad thing. So we don't want plucks. People give me a lot of crap for creeping. I don't creep much anymore because now I actually working through that elbow. I've done a video on that too. I've changed some things in my shooting that we'll talk about in another video. I'll make that one pretty soon. But that release is another one. Now, what else happens with a pluck? I just showed you there what happens there, but what happens with it more? What happens, the same thing happens, I told you I was shooting for a while. I was shooting a hybrid system, okay, where I would come in and I would draw and I'd get like this and then I would push, do a hard push to pull or shoot through there. I do that, and I do it for a purpose. If I draw, we've seen this before, we've talked about this, where people come in and they'll just stop here, and then right before they shot, they'll pull back so they pull through. Okay, so they come here and then they give that last little punch to give that pull through, like that, so it's pulling back, right? That's fantastic. But everything is in unison to here, and then you hit a dead spot, right? You're at a dead spot with your bow arm. Your bow arm is static, right here, not moving. And then all of a sudden you're here and you're gonna go, ooh, on that. What happens when you pull this string hard? What happens when I'm here and I'm holding the weight straight and I got everything in line and then I'm going to come back this way? This is what's going to happen. This is going to pull weight on the string, which is going to overpower this hand and is going to move it off target like that. It's going to go like this. That's what's going to happen. That's a battle we have to take and we have to face. So I'm not sure that that's always the best way. That one can give some issues in there, which is why instead I choose to push forward. People think I'm creeping when I do that because I come in and I get here and then I'm pushing forward. They assume that I'm creeping, but really when I push here, because I'm holding this, it's pulling my bow arm forward, which I'm okay with, but it's making everything go forward in a straight line or backward in a straight line. It doesn't matter as long as it's in a straight line. Okay, the battle between your mind and your bow is a serious one, and they cannot work together unless they get that whole synchronization thing working. And then you got to incorporate the muscle factor in there too. So it's a lot more complicated than you think it is. I have a lot of respect for the people. I see them more and more now today. These guys that come in here and they come in and they hold their bow vertical and they put 3 under like this and they do this and they line that stuff up and they get this set and they look like this. And then they come in and they draw it like this and they get set and then they look right down that shaft and they're set and then foomp and they fire. And you know what? You can't argue with that. It's very mechanical. It's very functional. It works, and they're probably shooting a lot better. There's a whole world of us that are traditional hunters, traditional shots, gap shooters even, that we struggle a little bit more with some of this stuff. However, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I don't know how to explain that any differently. You'll never see me do what I just did. I'll never be that kind of a shooter. No way under any circumstances. Not the 300 thing, but that whole vertical upright target style. I'll never be that guy. It's just not going to happen. But like I said, everything has challenges. Those have challenges too. Same ones we applied. So does instinctive shooting. But instinctive shooting, when you're on a range, is a lot different. When it's a live animal, everything can go wrong. Everything can mess up. Everything that you practice and you use and and you do it done 1,000 times can go out the window. It is a complete, unique, different situation. There's no doubt about it. But you're going to have this battle between here and here. The things that are going to help you beat that battle are being able to somehow keep that system where you're going to constantly have a push and pull forward so that nothing is throwing your bow arm off this way. To constantly get back to that anchor. We hear people say it all the time. Okay, how many times have you heard somebody say, I don't think I got the anchor on it? Like they'll shoot and they miss, boom, they miss low, and I'm like, oh, I never hit my anchor. I never hit my anchor. Or they'll shoot, they're on the range and boom, they shoot and they're like, oh, I don't think I hit anchor on that one. Or this one I did. I know I hit anchor on it, should be good. Okay, we hear the anchor. Did I hit anchor? Did I hit anchor? We hear that stuff quite a bit. That's one thing that should never be happening. We should always be hitting anchor. However, something so simple is taking your arrow and pulling it back to the corner of your mouth can be so complicated. If something so simple can be so complicated, how are we supposed to deal with and tolerate all the other harder variables that are happening out here? That's the point I'm trying to make here. There is no answer. There is no tried and true to anything. There is no perfect solution. It's just, it is what it is, and you do the best you can with it, and you try. I mean, we have mantras, we have things like that. Part of what I've been doing ever since I left the Midwest this year, when I'm shooting, is right before I even draw. Okay, it used to be, these gnats are getting annoying. It used to be that what I would do is I would do this. I would draw. I'd be like, okay, there he is. Here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Okay, pick a spot, pick a spot, pick a spot, pick a spot, like that. And I don't do that anymore. Okay, I don't want to, because I'm forgetting to do that. When it comes time to hunt and I'm ready to shoot, he comes in, it's happened fast. He's coming through, he's coming through, he's coming through. There's my window, there it is right there. No, it didn't happen. There it is, there it is, and it's done. That's it, okay? So I don't have time for all that. So what I'm doing instead is I'm telling myself as he's walking by, when he's coming in, I don't hunt bait. It's not like he's gonna stand right there for me for 20 minutes. He's coming through. When he comes through, I find that spot I wanna hit and I just call it in my mind. Inside my mind, I go spot. And I never take my eye off it. That's my new tactic. Not pick a spot, not telling me this. It is literally spot. Drill onto it, and once I say that word in my head, I can look at nothing else. Nothing else can matter. Then I don't have to worry about picking a spot, so it's done. So I literally comes by and I go, spot. Like that, and that's it. That's how it's done, right there. That's all I need. Okay, that's it. Whether it's fast, it's slow, it doesn't matter. Okay, but once I have that spot picked, that's my set right there. That's my world. It's that simple. It is literally spot. And that's it. So for me, it's been huge, you know, on all the shooting I've been doing since. It's been absolutely phenomenal. And it was missing a buck when you know, my Midwest trip was amazing, but I missed a beautiful, beautiful buck out there right over his back at like 12 yards because of this. And then right after that, I started doing this. This worked flawless. I've only killed one deer since then, since I did that. And that was that doe that I shot on the ground, but it was flawless. And I did the exact same thing, spot. And I was able to do it because I made it part of the mental thing beforehand. So these are things that you got to consider and think about. These are solutions that problems that you're going to have to find your own solutions for. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can solve this for you. Their advice may or may not work. There's a million different tactics. You yourself have to be the one that comes up with the way to beat these common things. However, the key thing is understand they are common. You are not alone. This is not just your problem. Every one of us suffer from it one way or another. That's the key of the video. So hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.